Hello, and welcome back. My name is Lisa Lauture, for those who don't know me. And I am just here to share the lessons that I have learned in my journey of becoming the woman that I am today, as well as the woman who I will become in the future. Okay, so last time we talked about is self-care really selfish? And we have established that self-care is not selfish. Okay, it is actually necessary, especially as you continue to grow and in adulthood, and you are coming into your own. It is so necessary. It should start when we are children, but a lot of times what happens is as we become adults, adulting happens, life happens, and then our self-care gets pushed to the back burner. And I'm not talking about self-care as in your basic get up, brush my teeth, wash my face type thing. I'm talking about actually pouring into yourself. So as a wife and a mother, that is where I speak from my experiences as a wife and a mother, because I am. And so today I'm going to talk about 5 self-care tips that have been beneficial to me in my journey to really caring for myself again. All right, so the first self-care tip is set boundaries. As we mothers enter into motherhood, and even as wives, sometimes the I becomes we. And with those boundaries start to blur. So for example, when my children were really, really little, there was no place in their minds that was off limits for them to get in contact with me or for them to connect with me. I could be in the bathroom. I could be fast asleep. Mommy, I want you now. So I actually had to start with the bathroom and let them know that was a place that was off limits. And sometimes I just went in there to take a breather and to, reset my thoughts and my mind and all of that stuff. But that was a space that I created as far as time, where I could be by myself, because with them always being with me, and there were no areas that were off limits for them to be have access to me. It wore me out. So when you are really wanting to take care of yourself, one thing you can start with is setting those boundaries and having some spaces that are off limits to other people. Anybody, because you could be single and be the one that everybody calls, and you may have to say, hey, during this time, don't call me. I will not be available. The next one is have a treat just for yourself. I have seen a whole lot of videos of the mom hiding in the pantry, eating her snack, or she has a box of or a bag of vegetables, what looks like vegetables, and inside of it is a bag of chips. That is some real stuff, okay? So it is okay to have a treat whatever it is. It could be I go get my nails done for me. That is my treat. That's what I'm into. I have a special something that I have just for me. And no, y'all can't have it. I'm not sharing it. One thing that we do as a family is everybody has their own treat. So it is, without even saying it, you have yours, you have yours, I have mine, okay? We all have our own. And it has worked wonders with, I don't ever have to hide anything that I am nibbling on or anything that I do. Because even, you know, as a girl mom, I do my makeup, so my girls see me doing makeup and they may want to do that too. Well, we talk about that. And if I choose to allow them to wear makeup, I'm giving them their own. Okay? You cannot have mine. We do not share. Now, there are moments in time where I have said, sure, you can use my lip gloss. And then the next day I go buy them their own. Just because, again, this is mine, but you have your own now too. And I'm also wanting them to get into the mindset of having their own stuff. Okay? Because I believe that that is so important. And doing that has made a world of difference in how I operate as a mother and a wife, you know, and not feeling like I've lost myself in my family, you know. Another thing that I have done and I am doing is holding others accountable for their own self-care as well as their own happiness. That was something I had to go ahead and add in here too. Your self-care and your happiness. Okay. This was one of those, it was a little tough because like I said in the last video, as a mom, yes, we do take care of our children. But what happens is when we find ourselves exhausted doing it, when we do it longer than we should. When I knew that my children were old enough to get dressed on their own, brush their teeth, clean their faces, put on clean clothes, you know, stuff like that, I held them accountable for doing that. And because I knew that even though our kids are our kids, they don't have a problem when it comes to remembering their games and stuff like that. But when it comes to certain responsibilities, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I planned for a backup because I don't like to micromanage. Micromanaging stresses me out. So, and that is across the board with other adults and with my children. I will not micromanage you. You know what you're supposed to do and do it. However, if there is something like, let's say we forget to brush our teeth and wash our face in the morning and it's time to go to school, and when I turn around, we get in the car and I turn around and hand you something, and now that I've gotten a close-up of you in the face, you got that morning streak on the sides, you know, little situation right here, and you got crust in your eyes and all of that. I'm not gonna fuss. Now I will remind you that going anywhere like that and starting your day, going about your day looking like that it's not good for you. And then especially at their age, and you're going to be around a whole bunch of other people, the way you present yourself, others will see that and it will affect you. You can't control what other people say about you. You can't control what they say about your smell. You go to talk to somebody and they, oh, your breath stink. I do remind them, because I'm going to be honest with my babies. But instead of me just saying that and saying, all right, that's your consequence, you have you a good day, I have already prepared for moments like that. And I kept a little kit in my car, a care kit with wipes and the whole nine. Hey, here's the bag, take care of your business, so that you won't be coming home saying somebody done said something about you. And so you don't look in the mirror when you get into school mortified because your face looking a mess, that whole thing. So not only do I hold them accountable for their own self-care, but I also prepare for the times when they don't. I'm not just gonna let them go out looking all crazy. And then also making sure that they are responsible for their own happiness. Because, as a parent and as a wife, I've heard in different conversations, when it comes to marriage, he doesn't make me happy anymore. That is not his responsibility. My kids, this, that, and the other. I want to be all that my kids need. We have to equip them. Because if we are everybody's everything, there is nothing left for us. Okay? I get sometimes with my kids, I have heard, Mommy, I'm bored. And there was a time when, after reading an article about, the signs that your children want to spend time with you, type articles that say, when your children say that they are bored or whatever, what they're saying is they want, your time, and they want that quality time with you, and that just might be their love language. But one thing that I've learned is that sometimes when your kids say that they're bored, it's because they done playing with whatever it is that they were playing with, and they just don't want to play with it no more. So my response is, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Not, oh, well, come on, let's go do. No, because that is not always the case. We can't always be available to everybody. And our kids have to learn that as well. There is a time for quality time, and we make sure that we have that. But we can't be, their entertainment on demand, or whenever they feel like they want to be entertained, so that is also one thing. It's just everybody needs to be responsible for their own happiness. And when someone in our family unit is unhappy, then yes, we talk about it, and we work on it and all of that. But as far as the whole "you don't make me happy" discussions, because that should not be someone else's role in your life. It's to make you happy. That is your responsibility, because at the end of the day, you are the one who should be getting to know you, what your needs are. Now, there's a difference between communicating your needs or your desires, like your love language and stuff like that. But to be codependent on someone else, in order to make you feel and be who you should be, is just, it's exhausting. Another self-care tip is to ask for help. And that part of that is like delegating, in whatever it is. For me, as in my home, it's delegating the chores and duties and responsibilities that keep our house, looking the par. That is something that is not the first thing that I started with. I actually started with the setting boundaries. I'm going down the list according to what I have worked on in that order. Now that things are, I have gotten better in a lot of other areas. Now I'm more getting into, delegating in the house. And, when I'm overwhelmed, I say it, instead of walking around with resentment, because I have had to catch myself with that one. I'm over here feeling like the maid of the house, and because I done stood there and watched my child throw something on the floor and kept walking like somebody else was gonna pick it up, and that somebody else has to be mom, because clearly we don't have no maids, but instead of just saying, hey, because delegating is not an easy thing for me. I'm the type of person, if I got to keep telling you to do it, if it is going to be more trouble having you do it, I'll do it myself. I will do it myself. And I have gotten into that. And now that I have been intentional about my self-care, that is one of those things that I have begun to really implement, is delegating household responsibilities. Everybody has to be responsible for their own cleanliness. Everybody needs to be responsible for how they keep their areas. I can't be responsible for everybody else's and my own. Okay? And it is an unfair label that has been placed on mothers and wives, is that she keeps the home. That is unfair, because everybody makes the messes. Everybody contributes to it being unkept. Everybody has to do their part to keep it up. So that is one thing that I have definitely got into working on. And then the final thing is forgive yourself. That is one lesson that I have learned time and time again, is to forgive yourself for falling short. Forgive yourself for not being completely on top of everything. Because in reality, we just ain't on top of everything. Everybody can't be all the things all the time. It just is what it is. And you have to start somewhere. And you can't start with beating yourself up, because that stunts your growth. And that's a valuable lesson that I have learned along the way. Is just really being kind to myself, being forgiving of my shortcomings, and just leaving that room for grace, and growth, really. I love that saying, grow at the speed of grace, because it gives me some room to breathe. Because if we always, are hard on ourselves, it can be really suffocating, and we actually slow down the progress that we're supposed to be making. So grow at the speed of grace, forgive yourself, and let me know what some of your self-care tips are. Because for me, self-care was not, going to get my hair done. I had to start doing my hair myself. Well, I've been doing my hair myself for a while, but finding things that work for me, going to get my hair done has always stressed me out. So I had to, get it done myself. Same thing with my nails. I glue them on, I stick them on like a sticker. But that did not serve me, and then the time it took and all of that. But everybody's view of self-care is different, and it goes beyond brushing your teeth and washing your face, so I hope that this information has been valuable to you. Take what you need and leave the rest, okay? I am a huge advocate for doing what works for you, because I'm gonna do what works for me, and I can't always take every bit of advice that I have heard from other people, because everybody's experience is different. So I welcome you to share in the comments. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow, all the jazz. And I look forward to seeing you back here for another message. All right. Thank you so much.